I want to talk to you about Module 2. Module 2, you're going to be looking at the classical and the neoclassical period. So we're going to have both of these together. And this is actually a period of time that was somewhat precedent to the 1800s. So it goes all the way back to medieval time. It goes back to Socrates, Plato, and all of that. What you're doing in this assignment is, first of all, you need to read up. Read up on this era, find out about it. There's a PowerPoint in there that I included in the module that also kind of gives you an overview, but don't limit it to just that. You really do need to research. You're leaders, and part of that is you're trying to understand how this whole idea of leadership and organizational management has evolved over the years. The more thorough job you do, the more you're going to understand how, as we know, history kind of repeats itself. So there are two parts to this assignment. The first is that you're going to create a timeline. And in that timeline, you're going to go and you're going to isolate key events or individuals that have impacted how that era transformed. And you're going to put them in a timeline. In Blackboard, I have provided to you some examples, some different softwares that do timelines. Pick one. You can use a different one each time. A lot of people like to use the same one because then you develop this huge timeline that has an entire reflection of what these eras look like. Keep in mind that the cultural era actually would go in the middle. So we started with it first because of the hallmark, but you're going to go back now and we're starting at the very beginning. And then we'll do the next module, module 3, actually covers the second period. And then if we were doing it in order, we would have started the cultural period then. So the first module is out of sequence. It actually should be the third. But because of the hallmark, we do it first. So given that, let's talk about that timeline. You can be as creative and innovative as you want to with your timeline. I've had individuals, adult learners like yourself, that have decided to look at books that were written and focus on authors. Some people have focused on leaders. I had an individual who focused on the technologies that were used by leaders. I had someone else who looked at the politics, looked at political leaders through the different eras. So you are not restricted to the examples that I've given you. There are key people that will shine in each of these eras, and you can focus on those. I had someone who decided to look at clothing trends in leadership. It was the most unique thing I'd ever seen. So you can be as creative and innovative as you want to, but create that timeline. Get those key events or individuals into your timeline. Then think of your timeline as kind of the cliff notes, and then you're going to write a paper. And I don't want to kill you with writing a whole lot in the paper, but you're limited in what you can put in the timeline. I mean, you can put photographs and details in some of those timelines, but then I want you to do a composite, a collective overview or summary of that particular era. I want to know that you understand that era. And so you're going to write in more depth. You're going to be APA with a cover sheet. You're going to have citations and references, and you can put that link right in your paper when you upload it to Blackboard, or you can simply upload your paper, and then in the message section, you can put that link for me. I don't care how you do it. Either way, I will get to the link that shares your timeline. So your paper and your timeline are going to kind of mirror each other. Your paper is just going to be a more in-depth overview of that timeline. I think that pretty much covers it. Hopefully this will give you sufficient direction. There's some exemplars. Again, because I've changed the course a little bit, your exemplars may look a little different. Sometimes I only did classical together. This time I've got classical and neoclassical together because I changed some other things due to adding the book. You have a textbook. Read it. Use it. It's got resources in there. I pretty much know that only 50% of those of you in the class probably have purchased the textbook. So borrow it from someone, do whatever you need to do, but you need to be referencing that where you have found the resources you use. So good luck with this. I look forward to reading them.